And we are live. Welcome to another BP TV. I appreciate you tuning in. Happy New Year. It is the 2nd of January here in Australia. It may be the first of the year wherever you are, but I'm stoked to be here. I've been on isolation for more than a week now. I was a close contact with my partner, Joe, who unfortunately did get COVID. And as a result, I also got COVID. So I'm actually doing okay, to be honest. No symptoms, feeling good. It took them more than 8 days to give me my result back. So here I am, feeling fine. And guys, I want to talk to you about how we are going to record you getting stronger, and exactly how we record that, demarcate that. And I also want to share with you a little bit of a practice that's going to help you record your jiu-jitsu training, which is something I do as well in my diary, but I'm going to give you a format. It was in the newsletter recently, so I want to share that with you. And I'm also going to show you one of my training spreadsheets. It sounds a little bit boring, but I'm going to show it to you so you can get a bit of an idea of the detail with which I record my workouts. And this is not specifically for a bulletproof workout. It's for a workout that I've been working on with my coach, my longtime coach and mentor, the big Russian, Efim Kurubatsky. So when I'm working on a special project, I sometimes call him up and say, hey, Efim, let's put our brains together. Let's come up with a monster workout. And he helps me with that. So guys, it is a new year. And we also have standards, right? And a lot of people have been asking questions about standards. Now, I did do the video the other week. I understand it wasn't necessarily the most engaging talk I've ever given because there's a lot of detail to cover. But that said, questions have come up and I want to address those questions. And like I said, we are improving it all the time, guys. So don't be afraid to tell us what's wrong with it because we want to fix that. And I am the chief feedback officer. Joey's been like, you can take that one, take all the complaints. No, so if there's anything wrong with it or you think there's a way that we need to make it better, we will make it better because ultimately, we are doing an app. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 2022, I never thought we would ever get here on that date. When you sound it, it sounds surreal. We will have a bulletproof for BJJ app. And it will incorporate a lot of these elements we're going to talk about today, which I'm really excited about. So I'd love you guys to be excited too. Guys, we are going to start off. First thing we are going to do is actually talk about recording or journaling for your actual jiu-jitsu practice before we get into tonnage and recording how you get stronger. So here's the thing. A lot of people do not have a journal. They don't write down what happens at jiu-jitsu, and they also don't write down what they think about relevant to jiu-jitsu. They're just like, oh, yay, I won. I submitted that guy. Or, oh, boo, I got submitted a lot and crushed. Meh. And they don't do anything about it. And I'm going to share with you guys actually a really simple tool, which I think you guys should try. And then let me know how you go with it. It's something that I like to do at the end of the week, but it's something you can also do immediately post jiu-jitsu. So let's have a look at this bad boy. It is the plus minus next system. Looks pretty simple, right? That's because it is very simple. So the thing about the plus minus next system, it's very easy. So in the plus section, we put down what worked. In the minus section, we put down what didn't work or potentially mistakes we made. And then in the next column, that is where we're going, okay, now what? So, okay, you were able to effectively sweep everybody you rolled with the sweep you were doing, but you weren't able to consolidate the position. What next? Or, for example, every time you try and do the sweep, you get passed. You keep getting passed with a particular pass. Everybody keeps cross-facing you and then squashing the life out of you. Okay, that didn't work. Now what? What's next? Okay, talk to the coach. You speak with your coach. Coach says, here's the problem. You let him control your leg, and then you didn't frame, and that's why they got the cross-face. So we've got to practice repositioning our leg and working on our frames. And that's what you would put here. Now, the key thing is when you do something like this, you need to have more things in the what next column than you do in any other column. So let's say you did everything right and it all worked, right? So that means in the plus column, you'd have, say, 5 things. I wouldn't want you to put more than 5 things, guys, because then it can just kind of get overwhelming. You still need to be able to put what next after that. You got to think about, okay, I was successful for that with that particular move or that technique. What do I do now? And here's the thing. If nothing worked, if it all just went to crap, you need to be able to analyze it and go, okay, how do I fix this? Because also, if you don't know how to fix it, you need to talk to somebody and you need to ask the question like, I'm not getting better. What do I need to do? And they'll either give you some drills, or they might be able to hook you up with a training partner, or they might be able to pair you with another student who you can work with so that you do actually get better. If you don't do this very basic, what worked, what didn't, and now what do I do? If you don't have this approach, then you are slowing your jiu-jitsu progress for no particular reason at all. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you. This is something that I'm starting to do with all my students now. So anybody who works with me privately, this is a framework that I use with them to help them think better and more clearly about their jiu-jitsu problems and their successes, and then how to build momentum on that. And it sounds really simple. You might look at it and go, man, it seems like whatever. But I'm telling you, if you roll, and then when you have the presence of mind post-class to write down what worked, what didn't, and now what do I need to change, it's going to have a huge impact on your jiu-jitsu. Cool. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's called the plus minus next journaling system. It is powerful, my friends. Get it up here. Okay, guys, let's talk about how we can get you stronger. Now, I'm not going to hold you down too long today. We're going to do a maximum of half an hour because I think this is super important. And actually, my boy, Julian Rees, he hit me up and he's like, dude, how do you record your workouts? Let me know about this. And he has actually been the first person to send me videos of him doing his standards for blue belt. I think he probably should have shot for purple. But anyway, shout out to Julian. Much love. Also, if you have any questions, guys, just hit me in the comment section. Feel free to ask your questions. It doesn't have to have anything to do with what I'm talking about this evening. It can be about anything about the program, or you can just know what's up. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about tonnage. So coming from the strongest people in the world. So there's a group called Westside Barbell under famed powerlifting coach, Louis Simmons. And really like elite FTS is what they call their system, and the conjugate system. They talk about tonnage, and they're always talking about pounds moved. And they talk about how many pounds they moved in a given session. And that way they can measure their training volume. Now, here's the thing. We don't do this with jiu-jitsu. We don't think about, oh, how hard was that session? Oh, yeah, man, that was like a 10 out of 10. That was a 12 out of 10. It wrecked me. I couldn't move. I couldn't come back to training for 2 days. Well, that's too hard, isn't it? But if you go to the gym and you lift really freaking heavy and your muscles are so sore, you're like, oh, I went too hard. I won't go as hard next time, right? This is often how we think about it from a subjective point of view. But what I want to try and get you guys on board with is recording your workouts in a way that makes you understand exactly how much work you did. Now, when we talk about tonnage, we're talking about total kilos lifted. Now, I pre-did the math because I didn't want to gaff it during the live, but I wanted you guys to have a look. So I've given the example of a pistol squat. Now, the reason why I say pistol squat is it's left and right side, and there may be a bit of a difference here. Now, the numbers I've written down are hypothetical, but I would say that they would be semi-accurate to me because my right side is stronger than my left across more reps. And so I've written down the total tonnage it's a body weight movement, right? So the way that you would approach writing down the tonnage for a body weight movement is that each rep is 1 times your body weight. So right now I'm 90 kilos. Whew, yeah, COVID thick, boy. So let's have a quick look here, guys. So I have written down pistol squats, 90 kilos. And from there, we've got right here, right leg. I've written R for right, L for left. Maybe I should have written this in reverse. Maybe this is coming up backwards. I hadn't even thought about that. Amazing. Next time, I will write everything in reverse. So as you can see, I've got a set of 10, a set of 10, set of 10, and then I got tired, set of 8, set of 8. Now for my left leg, I did a set of 10, but then I dropped to a set of 9. And then I dropped to a set of 8. I'm getting tired now, set of 7, set of 7. Now, when I'm doing my pistols, I will usually do my weaker leg first because that's when your nervous system has the most amount of energy. So I will do my left leg and then I will do my right leg. I learned this from kettlebell training. Whichever is your non-dominant side or your least preferred side, do it first. Whenever you're doing unilateral activities where you got to do one side, then do the other. If you're doing a bilateral activity, like just 2-leg, squats or deadlifts, you don't have to think about it. Or like pull-ups, just do them. But here's the deal. Look at the kilos difference. So the total for that amount of reps, so we've got 46 reps total. So the total for that is 4,160 kilos. That is my total tonnage for my right leg. Then if we look to the left leg, which was a total of 41 reps, we got 3,690 kilos total tonnage. So the way in which you can measure your workout is you can go, okay, I'm on whatever it might be. You're on your fifth workout of the year, and you're doing 2 workouts or 3 workouts a week. Let's say you're doing our new standards program, so you're doing 3 workouts a week. You're actually on day 6, which is the second round of the third workout. So essentially, you're like, okay, I feel stronger. Can I do more? One way in which you can do that is by adding reps. So for a body weight movement, you don't necessarily have to add weight. You can build your reps up to be higher until you've kind of maxed out. So if it's 5 sets of 10, or say it's 3 sets of 8, whatever the rep range might be, if you feel comfortable there and you've done it and you see that your total tonnage has improved, you are stronger. Your general output is higher. Even though you haven't made the weight heavier or you haven't changed the move, just by doing, say, 2 or 3 more reps, you have absolutely upped your tonnage. So this is important to consider. When you're looking at your whole week, when you consider jiu-jitsu, as well as weightlifting, as well as your job, as well as everything else going on in your life, when you have heavier training weeks for jiu-jitsu, you would not necessarily expect your total tonnage for your workouts to be higher. You're not necessarily going to be stronger. And this is the conflict. Recently, I think it's Dre Young. He had left a comment saying, "Oh man, I can bear, like I see your program is flexible. I think I can probably only fit 3 workouts into a 14-day period." Dude, it ain't enough. It's just simply not enough. You will not get stronger lifting 3 times in 2 weeks in a 14-day period. It's not enough. So we're just keeping it real right now. People will say, "Oh, but I do jiu-jitsu 5 times a week." Don't do jiu-jitsu 5 times a week. Do it 4 times a week. There's nothing to say that doing it 5 times a week is actually going to make you better than 4 times a week. Now, if you said to me, "I'm training jiu-jitsu 10 times a week," I'd be like, "Dang, 2 a days, 5 times a week? Yeah, okay, that's probably going to put you up there as that kind of world championship level caliber person who wants to really push it." Some people are doing 3 times a day. It's crazy, man. So that kind of training volume, I would actually say, well, yeah, you actually want to swap out one of those sessions for a lifting session. Actually, you want to swap out a couple. But yeah, if your training volume is more like 10 sessions a week, okay, I get it. You're just trying to do as much jiu-jitsu as physically possible. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be lifting. And you also need to consider this idea of tonnage. Now, most of you out there are not recording your workouts. And partly I feel responsible because I write down my workouts. I have a journal. I write down every day my sets and my reps. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you secret behind the scenes info. I'm going to show you an example of one of the spreadsheets that I have for my medium day. So I have usually 4 workouts a week, depending on the routine. And I will have a heavy day, a medium day, a light day, or like an explosive day, and then a variety day where I do lifts that I wouldn't normally do just to help round out everything that I'm doing. Now, this is fairly advanced, and this is some programming that I've worked with my longtime coach and friend Efim Krubatsky, the big Russian from Melbourne. He's been my mentor, and he's also been my coach on and off for, say, maybe 15 or more years. And so I really trust him. He's one of the smartest guys ever in terms of programming. When I say programming, I mean like writing programs for getting stronger. But also, he is a computer scientist, so he could be doing some programming. Just to get clear on that. So just have a look here, guys. This is an example of my medium day. So I know you may not be able to see it very clearly. The medium day, we have squats, we have bench press, pendlay rows, tricep extensions on the cable. And if you look, I've written down the dates. We've got the sets, the reps, the weight for each set, as well as if I didn't do enough reps, I would write how many reps I did. I also write little comments to say how hard it was. Like down here, I wrote, my head is exploding. That's actually what that says. Head exploding, even though it might be backwards. I hadn't even anticipated that the camera lens might be reading things backwards. I will also write in modifications. There is recommendations for percentage of load, like 70 to 75%, because it's medium day, 70 to 75%. This is the idea. And then on a heavier day, it will be more like 80 to 95%, depending on the day. And for me, I always push that a little bit. I'm like, I feel good. I do a little bit more, which my coach would hate. If Finn would hate it, because he's like, no, Jimmy, stick to protocol. Stick to protocol. And he give me the dead eye look. I'm like, man, come on. I'm having fun with this. If I feel energetic and I feel good, I'm going to put a little bit more weight on the bar. I might do an extra couple reps. Oh, my God. But here's the thing, guys. I have been obsessed with how much weight, how many reps on whatever move my entire life. Like this is since I was probably 12 years old. I measured myself by my workouts, like on an obsessive kind of Arnold Schwarzenegger-esque kind of record every workout, know exactly how much you can lift. And here's the thing, guys. I have these conversations with people and I'm like, how many pull-ups can you do? And they can't tell me. I'm like, what do you mean? You don't know how many pull-ups you can do? Are you a crazy person? Well, actually, I'm the crazy person, but I will tell you right now how many pull-ups I did the other day. So if we're talking like chest to bar pull-ups, like overhand, I think I did 8 or 9. I should be able to get 10, but it wasn't feeling too good. My right forearm has been very tight. So so I can tell you exactly. If we go like a chin up like that, probably more like 15. Honestly, I've been trying to work on this. So the same thing with like toes to bar. These are movements you need to know, guys. Why? Because they will tell you how physically ready you are for the mat. Now, I know right now it's been Christmas and I know it's been New Year and then I'm getting up 4:30 a.m. New Year's Day today, all day, every day, West Side, every goddamn day. On the West Side. Anyway, here's the thing, guys. If you are not putting this amount of attention into what you're doing, you're not getting better. Same thing with jiu-jitsu. If you're not writing down your techniques and you're not writing down what was successful and what wasn't, if you're not recording it, you are not making progress. You're just showing up. Now, for a lot of people, that's the battle, right? Oh, I just want to show up. It's not good enough. Just showing up is not good enough. Let's just throw it back to school. Let's throw it back to school, even though we may have different relationships and experiences with school. Now, I slacked off a lot in school. I was a pretty nerdy kid, so I did lots of work and lots of extra reading and homework outside of school. But in school, I was bored. Like, I think I'm a little bit ADHD. My mind was going everywhere. I was inventing things in my mind and thinking about different scenarios, and I just couldn't sit there and pay attention. So it was actually very hard for me to sit there and focus on one subject because I was always thinking about like 10 different subjects a million miles an hour. Now, I never got diagnosed. I have no idea. But if you know me, which I feel like you guys know me pretty well, I'm always thinking about 1,000 things at once. Occasionally, I can dial in and focus all my attention on one thing for periods of time, maybe like 45 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour to be able to do this. But here's the deal. When it comes to jiu-jitsu and I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I'm critically problem solving in many different things. And my brain is recalibrating all the time. Why? Because I have spent more time doing jiu-jitsu than I've done most other things in the last 15 years. Same thing with lifting, like being in the gym, calculating what my body's doing, my nutrition, my lifting, my body weight, all this stuff has been my obsession for more than 25 years. Now, you might be looking at me like, okay, cool, JT, you're crazy. Who cares? That's you. That's not me. I'm just trying to lose a few kilos and do some jiu-jitsu. Well, let me tell you this. If you are more organized about all of this, you will get what you want quicker. If you are more organized about your workouts, writing them down, your jiu-jitsu, organizing your thinking, you'll get better sooner. Now, wouldn't you want that? Of course you want that because it saves you freaking time. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all you got. You just got time and energy. Don't waste any of it. Now, I am very grateful for the fact that you guys are sitting here watching this video, paying attention to my annoying voice. But know this, you will die. It will be over. There'll be a point in time where you do not do jiu-jitsu and no one will even care if you did it or not. Now, that sounds bleak, but it's not bleak. Why is it a good thing? It's good because it's whatever it means to you. And what it means to you is the time and the energy you invest in it. The more invested you are, the richer the rewards. The more you work hard and you suffer for this thing, the greater the victory. Getting it like just by chance, it doesn't mean shit. You have to put your heart and soul into this thing to make it meaningful and also to get your results faster. Let's not waste time. Don't take 20 years to get a black belt. Let's get there in under 10. It's totally possible. I got my black belt in 9 years. That's not that fast in jiu-jitsu. I know there's people, who claim they got their black belt in 6 or whatever it is. That doesn't make it better. I'm not saying getting it faster makes it better, but I'm telling you, once you get to a higher level of jiu-jitsu thinking, it's more fun. And I want you guys to get there quicker. I want you to be stronger. I want you to be fitter, and I want you to be smarter. And that's what 2022 is all about, my friends. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Koa, man, put a message and you retracted it. Dang. Come on now. Nobody's left me any messages. Guys, this year, we really want to get the most out of it. So it's really important that we start writing it down. So Joey and I have been working on a PDF for you guys to be able to download and record your workouts. So we will be doing a format for the new standards program. We will do a format for the kettlebell program, and we will do a format for the gym program as well. It's a little bit of work on our end, but we're happy to do it because this is forming the framework for the app, which will be coming, and you'll be able to record your workouts in the app, which is going to be sick. I'm so excited for it, guys. Like, man, I'm sick of Whoop. I'm sick of Strava. I'm sick of all these things. They look good as apps, but they're bullshit. I want to have an app where you guys can record your jiu-jitsu, you can record your food, you can record your lifting, your mobility, and we can reward you for your hard work. That's what I want, and that's what we're going to be putting in the world later this year. 3 unrelated questions. My boy, let's do it before we go. How do you structure your training to get the best results in terms of training, BJJ, and as a hobbyist? How often purposely force deload weeks? Usually a deload week, usually after a cycle. So if we say a cycle is 6 weeks or it's 8 weeks, depending on how you train your lifting. Some people have a 12-week cycle, but within Bulletproof, we usually say 6 weeks. The 7th week is a deload. That's usually how we look at it. But some people find they feel good without a deload. But really, if you're really going for strength, a deload week every 7 weeks. I'll write that down. Deload after 6-week cycle. That's what we encourage people to do. 7th week is the deload. Yes, indeed. All right. Now, OHP, provide clarification. Sorry, OHP, I'm not sure what that terminology is. Koa, you're going to have to express that for me. Is it overrated? Is it too taxing while having bench as a follow-up exercise alternatives? Overhead press. Is that what you're talking about? No, it's all good, bro. Put it in there. OHP, are we talking overhead press? Is that what it is? Overhead press. Okay, here's the priority I would put, me personally. Overhead press first. If you're choosing, like, say you've got like more of a pushing day and you have overhead press and bench press on the same day, which I don't encourage. If I'm just trying to get someone maximally strong for overhead, then they would do that exclusively. Yeah, standing overhead press, amazing, great move. Whether you're doing it with kettlebells, barbells, anything, I'm going to say do it first. That is your primary. So if you look at the new standards program, it's broken down into A series, B series, and C series movements. The A series movements are mobility, or the mobility portion of the new standards program. Now, some of the mobility is loaded, so that's really freaking hard. So it's not like, oh, it's so easy, but when you first get started, it's kind of a warm-up. Then the second lot, the B series, that's really the work. That's your strength moves there. And the C series are the accessory. If I were you, Koa, and you're trying to get stronger with your overhead press, you put it as your primary. I don't think bench press is as important for jiu-jitsu. As much as press, that's where you're weakest. That's where we want you to be strongest. And that is more applicable to jiu-jitsu. And that's why doing get-ups and get-up sit-ups and overhead work, as well as overhead pressing, is super key for jiu-jitsu. So my advice, if you've got a choice, overhead press first and your bench second, if that's what you're doing. But really, that's bench press is not part of the Bulletproof for BJJ program. Just saying, we have a floor press, but I think bench press is not as important as every power lifter or bodybuilder would make it out to be. If you have a really strong overhead press, then that is king. I hope that answers your question. My friends, if you want to ask a question just like Koa did, or multiple questions, you're more than welcome. That's what this is really here for, is to give the opportunity that I don't always get a chance to talk to you guys. You know, we're out there in the land of Instagram and whatever else, social media, doing the podcast. And so it's always great to connect and answer. Oh, dang, you have a mild shoulder subluxation. I'm going to say nothing overhead at this point in time. Thanks for the caveat. Okay, guys, if you're out there and you've had a shoulder injury, like your shoulder subluxed, or you've got a rotator cuff injury or whatever else like that, you actually need to spend some time getting the shoulder back in the joint. Actually, sorry, I do remember, Koa, you did ask the other week that you'd sublux your shoulder and what to do about it. The important thing is for you to be able to retract. So for you to be able to pull your shoulder blade back into the socket. So shoulder retraction is super important. I would say anything below the shoulder in terms of not pressing is actually not important. If you sublux your shoulder, you shouldn't be pressing. Like, you have to think that pressing is protraction. And if anything, that's going to make it more likely for you to dislocate your shoulder. So I'm going to say right now, I mean, I'm going to say a scapular push-up. That is the only pressing I would encourage you to do. Scapular push-up. Now, if you don't know what that is, you can Google it. I'm pretty sure there is a good example of it on our program. Yes, my guy, Harry. Yeah, the plus minus next is money. I stole this from a famous American blogger a while ago. She's a genius. Super smart lady, very nerdy. I love her. Yes, so I've got to credit her. I will let you guys know about her blog, and you can go follow it if you like. I know blogs, people don't talk about blogs like they used to, but great source of information. All my best information is stolen. So understand this. We need to be able to pull the shoulder blades back. So doing like a rear delt fly, like leaning forward and being able to lift your arms up and back like this. That's really important. Scapular push-up, and then also scapular row, active hang. Sucking the humerus back down into the joint is one of the most important things you need to do. Even though it's a mild subluxation, if you don't form that connection strongly again, then you're more likely to re-injure yourself. That's all I have to say about that for now, Koa. If you want more information, bro, hit me up personally. You can hit me on Facebook. Put the question in the Facebook community. If you're not part of our Facebook community, please join. Now, we've been going back and forth about whether or not we set up our own forum on our website. Now, it was an even split between staying on Facebook or moving to our own community. Across the community, it was like a 49-51 split. It was very close. So, guys, like for Joey and myself, we really don't support the ethics of Facebook, and we'd love to move our community away. But they do provide a great platform in terms of people being able to connect, and people are on there. But at a critical point, we want people to be sharing and connecting through it's our community, and we want our community helping each other separate of big corporate. And that's how we feel about it. We haven't quite got the alternative locked down just yet, but once we've got that better alternative, that's where we'd like to go. But at the end of the day, it's about helping you guys. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Make sure that you are writing it down. Now, it is as simple as putting down a spreadsheet. You can jump on Excel and make your own spreadsheet. Also, with your jiu-jitsu, start writing it down, guys. How simple is this? Plus, minus, what's next? That's what you need. And also, think this. If you're having a big week of jiu-jitsu, like you're going to do 4 or 5 classes, you need to consider that this tonnage probably should not go up, or you shouldn't try and make it go up, because that is absolutely a recipe for disaster. But if you're having a lighter jiu-jitsu week for any reason, and you're like, all right, I'm going to lift a bit more, or I'm going to do a bit more accessory work, then push the tonnage up. Do more reps, lift a bit more weight, get stronger. Weakness is never a strength. Strength is never a weakness, as said by the legendary Mark Bell. So much love to you guys. Happy New Year. Appreciate your love and dedication for jiu-jitsu. It is a demanding thing, but I all want you to have a good time while you're in the game. You know, it's a long race. The race will continue on without us, but we want to stay at the front as long as we can. My friends, have a great week. We're going to be pumping out new content. Little secret thing, we will be doing more podcasts. Woo! What do you know? That's right. There's going to be a bit more content coming out. So if you have any requests for subjects that you would like, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Facebook. You know, we are approachable. It won't last forever. When we're really, super famous, obviously we'll just have AI bots to do it for us. But, that's all right. You won't even know when it comes to Joey, because he's so flat with his personality. With me, it will be very hard to replicate with AI. That's just how it is. Can you AI this beard? Are you joking? All right, guys. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a great week. And between now and when I see you next, stay bulletproof.